It's Wayne O'Keefe, fishing the Maribyrnong River this morning, and overnight we had a pretty hefty downpour of rain. In fact, in my area we had about, 4 or 5 mils really in probably only about half an hour, so it came down pretty hard. So the first thing I'll do when I get here is I'm just going to mix my burley up and do everything that, the standard process for preparing for fishing. But what I'll do first off is I've just baited up my hook with worms. I'm going to cast it out to a couple of spots. I don't have any burley at the moment, but I'm going to just cast it out because sometimes what will happen is it'll just land near some of the fish that are active because of that, the inflow of new water. And especially if there is new water coming in after rain, it naturally carries food with it, or the insect life and things like that. It'll carry worms, and the fish will be pretty much then habituated to actually looking for worms, and I've got exactly what they want. So what I'll do then after that is I will, once the burley is mixed, then I'll start casting the same spot, build up the burley so that I can actually fish and attract those fish in. But now what I'll do is, while I'm mixing and getting ready, I'll cast in at different spots. So I'll be doing a bit of searching, just see if there's the odd fish there, because every now and again, especially things like big bream, really like worms, and when the water's been flowing in like this, that's the very time that I'll be looking for them. So I've only got a couple of hours today, which is pretty much all I ever have. Been renovating my house, so it's something I have to do this afternoon, and I got here a little bit later than I wanted to. I had a very big night, as far as I remember, and so I just want to, I've got enough strength, I think, to get a couple of hours in before I have to go back and do a bit of work. So let's see. What I'm using today is my standard Bass Red Graphite 2.1 meter spin rod with a funnel reel, just a standard, the 3000 series reel, with a burley cage, a running burley cage, and just simply at the moment with the worms the size 8 hook. The burley cage is one of the one like that. What it does is it has fins on either side. These fins here mean that when you wind in, it lifts off the bottom rather than dragging. So when it lifts off the bottom, it avoids those snags. It's on I set it up on a running line down to a line stopper, and so the fish are able to pull through there and not feel that weight. That gives them a bit more confidence to take that bait. So that's what I'll be using today. If you're interested in any of this gear, it's all available on my website, howtofish.com. Well, have a look at this. I came here ready for showers of rain and heavy winds, and I've got sunshine. Instead of stopping getting wet, I may well have to avoid getting sunstroke. But unfortunately, this sun is not going to last. In fact, it'll be off and on. Checking the weather before I came, the day's not going to be great because there's low pressure systems coming through. There's variation in the barometer happening, which is not good for fishing. So if you were to plan your fishing and you really want the best days, then what you'd be looking for is typically good barometric pressure that's been steady for a while. Overcast conditions are always better. If you're fishing into any tidal waters, you want to fish the rising tide. If you're fishing any standard rivers, you want to fish into the shade. You want to find those spots, fish holding spots, a bit of a dip, slower water, things like that. And you don't want really heavy winds. You want lighter breeze. That's about right. If you can get those conditions, you can do very well. Today, I've got variable pressure coming through. There's supposed to be some high winds coming through as well. Not good. At the moment, this sun is not helping me because I prefer to fish into the shade when the fish feel a bit safer. So what do you do when the only time you've got to fish is when conditions are at their worst? There's a couple of things you can do. One is expect fish to be tentative in their biting, so they're not going to just commit suicide by picking up any bait. You've got to present it as naturally as possible. So what I've got on one of my rods is I've got a rod with lighter line, and on that I've tied a pre-stretched super fine trace. Now this is a special line made specifically for trace, as trace material, and what it does is it's pre-stretched, so it doesn't have much give in it. It's quite strong for its diameter, but it's got a very fine diameter, and I've got a small hook on that. So I'm using a small hook and small bait on light line, which will make that bait react as naturally as any other bait in there. So if the fish went by and it was looking around, you might only have a very small period of time on where the fish are going to bite, and they will only take something they feel really confident with. So you've got to present something that they're willing to feel confident with, that they will swallow. So having the light line where it will move naturally in the water. So if the fish swims by and it wafts over the top of different bait particles there, they all move in a certain way. If something sits on the bottom because heavy line is pulling it down, it won't touch it. It might look at it, but then it'll take off. On those conditions when they're not feeding well, that's exactly what happens. So if you do that, the light lines of that, then you give your best chance of hooking those fish. Then the last thing is fish with berley cages. Have the fish attracted in there, the berley. My fish, my berley, my white heart berley, doesn't have much food in it at all, so it doesn't feed the fish, but what it does is has bait signatures which attract the fish. So you've got an attractant and you've got the light line and natural looking bait. That's about as good as you can do, and then of course you've got to fish into the spots that are holding fish, so you've got to find those holes, those dips in the bottom, those slower areas. That's what will get you those fish on those hard days. Okay, well I got one now. It's taken a lot of time, and these are only small fish. It's taken a while, but I finally, after a lot of little bites and stuff and trying different methods, I finally got something small, and probably a small brim, I'd say. Oh, he's getting in, he's getting into the weeds here. Let's just see what I got here. Jeez, oh no, he's still on there, but he's in the weeds. Oh goodness, how am I going to get this out? So I don't know if you can see. He's got into the weeds. He's still on there. I'll have to get my net and see if I can pull him up. Jeez. Well, I've got one, and it's taken me ages. I've missed one. I've missed a few actually. And I got one into the bushes there, and it wrapped itself around. Got something small here, which would be a small brim, I'd say. And it is. Wow. What a day. This has been so tough. I missed one in the bushes over there. And in other words, I got it in and it wrapped itself around a bush on the bank and I couldn't get to it. It's been so hard to catch fish today. So what it's taken is I had to go down both rods. I had to go down in size of the line and the hook. So I put the trace on, the light trace. I put the smaller hook. I use smaller pieces. What I use is I've been using peppies, but what I've done is I've salted them a little bit so they're a little bit tougher and they stay on there. Okay, and the fish tend to like them, and because I've salted them, they are tougher. But it has been so tough. It just shows you though, in 2 hours, okay, I got one fish in almost to the bank and one other fish on a day which is really, really tough. It's been sunny, it's been windy, it's been overcast, it's been a bit of rain, the barometer's been up and down, not good conditions at all for fishing, but it just shows you, you use your berley, you use the right bait presentation, you find the spots, and you just keep getting the berley in to get those fish in. When you find the time that they are going to feed, you'll get that fish in. So it gives you a bit of fun on the day when otherwise you wouldn't catch anything. So look, if you've enjoyed this, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you want any of the gear that I've had here, the berley cages, rods, reels, etc., you can find them on my website, howtofish.com.au. So thanks very much.